Dear students, in the previous video we have talked about different kinds of animal tissues. We have read about epithelial tissues, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. About the epithelial tissue we have read the four kinds. In connective tissue we have read about the tendon, ligament, areolar and adipose tissue. We have read about cartilage and bone, lymph and blood. All this we have completed in the previous video, right? Up to here we have completed it, right? All this is over now, right? Now we have two different kinds of tissues that we have: muscular tissue and nervous tissue. The muscular tissue is the, again, it connects. Name work of muscles is to connect, right? And muscles are most of the times they are connected to bones for facilitating movement and locomotion. Such muscles which are connected to bones, they are also known as skeletal muscles. But the muscles which are independent, they are not connected to any other structure, as they exist independently with an organ, and they are not skeletal muscles. Muscles are studied as voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles and cardiac muscles. What is this voluntary muscle? Voluntary literally meaning voluntary meaning as per our will. As we wish to do. If I want to raise my hand, I can raise my hand. If I want to drop my hand, I can drop my. This is as per my will. Whatever I want. If a muscle is performing as per my will, whatever I want, right? Then that particular group of muscle is known as voluntary. The name voluntary means, as voluntary word means as per my will, as I wish to do, as I want to do. If a muscle tissue is performing according to my wish, is voluntary, because the word voluntary itself means as per my will, as I want. Do you understand? And those not obeying me, those muscles, though they are in our body, we are the owner of those muscles, we are the masters of those muscles, but they do not obey us. If they are not obeying us, if they are not working as per our will, as we want them to work, then what do? They are just opposite, involuntary. As you have the words complete, and the opposite word of complete can be made by prefixing in, and the word becomes incomplete, is opposite of complete. Similarly, opposite of voluntary is involuntary. Voluntary meant as per my will. Involuntary, not as per my will. Whatever I want, they are not going to obey us. If I say my hand to get raised up, I can raise my hand. The muscles in my hand, they are working. If I want to close my fingers into the form of a fist, I can do this. Can you see? I can close my fist. Right. This movement is because of my will. I want to do so, and I can. But if I say my muscles in my heart, hey, heart muscles, now stop. You are working since my birth. You may be tired. Take a rest for some. Once the heart muscles will stop, you know the what will happen. The person will be finished. Right. So the heart muscles, they work on their own. They do not work as per our will. Right. The lungs, the muscles in the lungs, they work on their own. The muscles in the small intestine, large intestine, and the stomach, they work on their own. The peristaltic movement in this food pipe, these muscles in the food pipe or esophagus, these muscles contract and expand when the food, the bowel, the the chyme goes there. The amount of food reaches here, they squeeze them down to move downwards. Then expand, the next muscles squeezes or contracts to push them down. Do you understand? So, there are certain muscles in our body, they do not work as per our will, and there are so many muscles, most of them are skeletal muscles, they work as per our will. So we have classified muscles based on how they work as voluntary and involuntary. If we read about the structure of voluntary muscle, what we see, if this is the fiber, if this is the fiber, what you see, in one of these cells, so many nucleus, they are multinucleated, right? They are multinucleated, right? This way you will see these muscles. What is the other speciality of these voluntary muscles? They have the bands like this. You may have seen the bands on the around the wrist. We call it wristband. Sometimes made up of rubber, you put on the bands, you call them friendship band, right? A wide strip like structure that twine the wrist, that goes around the wrist. You may see in the small girls have the hair band made up of plastic on their middle of their head, they put on to keep the hairs intact, right? Hair band, this wristband. Some of the girls dresses have the waistband, a wide strip like structure, right? So these muscle cells, they have bands after certain intervals. These are bands, band, right? And because of this structure, these voluntary muscles are also known as band muscles, band muscles. But for this band, we have a Latin word striation, striations, plural of bands, striations. From this we have taken the word, those muscles which have the striations, we have named these muscles as striated muscles. Do you follow? These muscles are known as striated muscles because of these striations. This is striation. Clear? And these are called striated muscles. Striated muscles. Clear? Is that clear to all of you? The second kind of muscles. So voluntary muscles work as per our will. They are obedient muscles. They are multinucleated, so many nucleus in one cell. They have the band after certain intervals. They may be branched also. These are the regarding the structure. And most of them are attached to the bones. They help facilitate movement and locomotion in our body. They are obedient muscles. They work as per our will. The second kind of muscle is the opposite of this. Opposite means as regards its function. They are not obedient muscles. They are unstriated muscles, involuntary. Involuntary. Involuntary means not obedient. They are not, or say non-obedient. They do not obey us. Regarding the structure, they are spindle shaped. They are spindle shaped. Spindle shaped muscles like this. Their ends are tapering, narrowing ends, right? their ends are narrowing, and another important thing is with one cell only one nucleus, no branching. They are not appearing as long fibers, small fibers. The fibers are shaped like a spindle and they are uninucleated or single nucleus, and they do not obey us. They are involuntary in nature and they are generally present in the intestine, stomach, then in the food pipe, that is food pipe, that is esophagus, right? They are present in the esophagus. So this is all about the unstriated muscles, or they do not have bands, or they are also called as involuntary. So involuntary muscles are also known as unstriated muscles, or the third name for them is smooth muscles. They are smooth muscles. And the third kind is the cardiac muscle. Whenever the word cardiac, it means the heart. So all the muscles that are present in the heart, they are involuntary in nature. They do not obey us, and they are making our heart, right? So muscles in our heart, they are known as cardiac muscle. As regards their structure, they are also similar to the striated muscles, but they do not have the bands and they are not branched like striated muscles. They are uninucleated, also single nucleus. They are the thought to be the strongest muscles in our body. Clear? So this is all about the muscular tissues. Next comes our nervous tissue. This nervous tissue is made up of three different kinds of nerves: the motor nerves, the sensory nerves, and the mixed nerves. So what is their function? All their function we have classified. Motor nerves, they transport the message from the body part. Suppose here, if I strike, if I just touch my skin here, or simply put my finger, so the nerve cell present here will take this message in the form of signals to our brain, right? These are connected and will go into our spinal cord, backbone. In the backbone we have the spinal cord, and that connects to the brain. So this message that this finger has touched this is transported to the brain. This is called sensory nerve, right? And then brain gives signal as per the need of the body through another nerve that brings a message to the muscle. Hey, don't touch that place. So this will be removed. So don't touch that. That is brought by the. So sensory nerves, they sense the message. Motor nerves, they transport it and order for the muscles, or bring the orders for the muscles to respond. But sometimes what happens, certain life forms are very small in size. Due to their size or because of their adaptation, they have single nerves. They work both as motor nerve as well as sensory nerves. They are called mixed nerves. Work as both means they sense, they take the message to the brain, and the same nerve brings the message or instruction back. In that case, it is called mixed nerve. This is all about the nervous tissues, right? The important figures that you have to practice is given in your book. The figure of nerve cell, that is very important. Most of the examination question papers, they ask the figure of the nerve cell. You must practice, it is given in the book. Would you like to see that figure? You see this? This figure is very important. You must practice this figure. This one. Clear? And you must practice the figures of these muscles also. This figure, right? All of you draw this figure in your notebook. Clear? And about the bone and all this, you practice. Clear? These figures you must practice you must draw in your notebook, right? And in the next video we will talk about the exercises of this lesson. Clear? That's all in this video. Thank you. Take care. Keep healthy.